Discover Card Countdown to Green on TNT is brought to you by Discover Card. It pays to discover. And by Mobile One. The more you know about new Mobile One, the better it is for your car.
There have been 49 Winston Cup races here at Pocono. 35 of those 49 have been won from a top 10 starting position. To the grid, here's Marty.
Well, Bill, for the second week in a row, Bill Elliott will lead the field to the green flag. This is eighth top 10 start in the last 9 races. I said, Bill, how are you going to turn those starts into wins? He said, hit strategy at the end of the race. Beside him on the front row is Ricky Rudd. There was a published report and a broadcast report this morning that Ricky had signed a contract to move elsewhere. Ricky said that is not the case. I am focused on winning this race today. I'll have some news on that front soon. Matt.
Marty, row 4 is the all-rookie row. In June, Ryan Newman led 19 laps before a faulty fuel pump, and then a crash KO'd his chances to pick up his first points-paying win of 2002. He still seeks that first win. Alongside his fellow rookie, Jimmy Johnson. He started second here back in June before finishing third. He never led a lap, but his crew chief told me this morning they feel like they've learned a lot since the last time they were here, and Chad Canal says that win here at Pocono could come today. Dave.
Matt, defending Winston Cup champion Jeff Gordon has not won in 27 races, but the good news is he runs great here at Pocono with 3 wins and only 4 finishes of worse than 8th in his last 19 starts. Jeff is very confident he can do well here today and turn his season around. Bill?
Thank you, Dave. A tremendous amount of stories about to unfold. 43 starters, 44 cars came here. Only 1 failed to make the race. Of all the races they've run here at Pocono in the Winston Cup Series, 49 of them, the eventual winner has never started any deeper in the field than 27th. Those guys in the back have their work cut out for them. Now trackside for pre-race festivities.
By Father Dan Bitsko.
As we bow our heads in prayer, eternal and loving Father, we see and feel your presence in the excitement of this day. We ask you to hold in the palm of your gracious hands our drivers, their crews, and all the track officials and personnel. Bless our scorers and our spotters. We thank you for the Mattioli family, the entire Pocono staff, NASCAR, and all our sponsors. Bless our race fans here and throughout our audience with your love, peace, health, and happiness. Amen.
Gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem by the U.S. Army Brass Quintet. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the word you're waiting for.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Three cars roar to life. Our Pep Boys are next. Alan, Wally, and Benny. The countdown's at 0. The 500 is next.
This has been the Discover Cars Countdown Screen. Let's go race it.
Ricky Rudd, first win in 88 races.
It's been a while since Jeff Gordon has had a victory bout of this magnitude.
A first-time winner has gone to victory lane.
The Graybeards have something for the young guns tonight.
The chase for the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship moves to the three-quartered Pocono Raceway in Pennsylvania as Pep Boys presents the Pennsylvania 500, race number 20 of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series season. A cloudy, overcast day hasn't deterred the energy of these fans. They've been coming in here since before dawn this morning. The infield is packed. They're all revved up and ready to unleash 33,000 horsepower with 43 NASCAR Winston Cup Series machines to start this race just moments from now. Hi, and welcome to TNT's coverage of the Pennsylvania 500. Alan Bestwick here in Pocono, along with Wally Dallenbach and Benny Parsons. You know, the start of any race is always a tense, exciting time. But at this racetrack, it kind of takes on even a little more of an edge.
Yeah, this place is wild for the driver and for the fans because Pocono's, the straightaway is so wide. On the start, you'll see everybody getting 4 and 5 wide. The problem is, BP, you got to get down double file getting into one, and today we're not sure what's going to happen when they get to turn 1.
That's right, because of the rain this morning. Anytime that it rains on the surface, it changes the racetrack from the way they practiced yesterday afternoon. So no one really knows, but surely to goodness there will be some apprehension when they get to turn 1. Don't you think?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? They're not going to hesitate for a second, are they?
No, they're going to try to win the first lap.
There you go. Cars are starting to roll off now on their parade and pace lap. They're going to run a few extra laps than normal to just try and finish drying out this surface. It hasn't rained now for, what, a good hour, hour and a half, and they've been working the track over with the jet dryers, but there's still just that extra security of running these hot race cars around there.
And I think they're also looking for what the drivers have to say about the track. They'll take a few laps, and they're always asking the drivers, well, how does it look to you? They're actually the ones that make the final call to make sure the track is dry enough and safe enough for them to start the race.
If the sun would just pop out, the track would dry almost immediately, but it's 100% humidity. The moisture is just laying on top of the racetrack. That's the problem they have trying to dry it out.
And the added question mark on the minds of all the drivers and crew chiefs as we start this race today is, will it go the full distance? Once we get to lap 100, which is halfway in this race, if the weather comes again, that could be it.
Could be it. So that's something interesting to see. Making that pit stop at 100 laps, 105, especially if it's dark like this, is a real gamble.
A little added drama in there. Going to make 6 parade and pace laps before the green flag, so let's take a break here. When we come back, we'll have a look at the starting lineup for the Pennsylvania 500.
The Pennsylvania 500, presented by Pep Boys on TNT, is brought to you by Pep Boys. Help for your car is just a Pep Boys away. Pep Boys, we're car people. By AT&T Wireless, welcome to M-Life. By the United States Army, an army of one. And by Best Buy. For the latest technology, turn on the fun at Best Buy.
You know, if we put some darker glasses and a little mustache on Benny, he and Manny would be a pretty good split, don't you think? Pretty good match?
I think he would. Try that next week, BP.
I don't know why that thought struck me while I was looking at the bobbleheads. Speaking of Benny, how about a little Thunder Motion?
This is a very strange racetrack, a triangular-shaped racetrack. Let's go inside our EA Sports NASCAR Thunder 2003 and a little bit closer look at what we might see today. When the cars go down in turn 1, as Wally said in his lap, you want to be down next to the white line, but we have seen over the last 2 or 3 years, you can run the outside line. As a matter of fact, you can't even pass out there. Now, what I think is the toughest corner on the racetrack is a tunnel corner. You're driving into it about 200 miles per hour straight towards that wall, and you just hope that it turns. And here you need to be down next to that white line. As you come off this flat corner, turn 3, this is not the place to be. You've got to be on the bottom of the racetrack because how you come off there really depends on how you're going down this 4,400 long straightaway.
Boy, Wally, if you were driving that thing, you had your hands full.
I was going to say, you did a good lap there, BP.
65!
Bill Elliott was the fast qualifier for a second straight week on Friday. He wins the Bud Pole Award from Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR, proud sponsor of the award given to the fastest qualifier at each Winston Cup race, awarding more than $7 million since 1979 as title sponsor of NASCAR's Pole Award program is Anheuser-Busch. And now, the Walmart starting grid for today's Pennsylvania 500. Alongside Bill Elliott on the front row, Ricky Rudd came within 6 laps of winning here in June. Flat tire foiled him that day.
And back in row 2, Michael Waltrip and Jeremy Mayfield, teammate for Bill Elliott.
John Andretti, great qualifying run for Richard Petty. He starts in row 3 with Johnny Benson. Back says the ribs are fine after his crash at Daytona.
And back in row 4 is the bestest rookie row, Jimmy Johnson and Ryan Newman. They expect both these cars to challenge.
Rusty Wallace, hope his racing's better than his golfing. He's going to go with row 5 with Tony Stewart alongside. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in row 6 with Jerry NADEAU going to drive that 44 car for the Petties the rest of this season.
Sterling Marlin, Steve Parker, points leader Sterling Marlin inside of row 7.
Dale Jarrett won here in June 6 weeks ago. He starts in row number 8 with Ricky Craven in the Tide Ride.
And back in row 9, we find on the inside Mark Martin starting 17th. Let's talk to Mark. Mark Martin, Benny Parsons, TNT. You got me?
Hey, Benny.
Okay, how's the racetrack looking?
Racetrack's ready to go here. They're trying to dry up some damp spots on the front stretch, but that wouldn't bother us any. We're ready to go here. The track looks good.
Well, okay. Is that number 6 car ready to go?
It was good yesterday. You know, every day's a new day. We'll have to wait and see how it goes today.
What are your thoughts as you drive down in turn 1 on the racetrack? Got some rain on it.
I hadn't seen a drop out here. Track looks good.
Well, good luck to you, Mark.
Thanks.
Mark Martin chasing that championship. Going to take the number 6 car to the green flag from the 17th position today. Here are the rest of the starters in the Pennsylvania 500. Elliott Sadler back there pretty deep in the field. 32nd spot, the Burton brothers in row 17.
Why did Weber say that no one has ever won this race past 27th starting spot or something?
That's right. How about Bobby Labonte, defending winner of this race? Provisional, and he's even going to drop farther back than that because they changed engines after their problems in qualifying, so he's got to go to the very back of the field. Mike Skinner does as well.
Gary Cope, Kurt Shumadine, who crashed on his qualifying lap on Friday, and Morgan Shepherd. I saw Morgan on pit road a couple of laps ago. Hopefully everything is okay.
And so there they are, the 43 who will start. Only one failed to qualify. Carl Long, unsuccessful in trying to make the field for the Pennsylvania 500. Let's get some stories from pit road as we get set for what should be the final planned pace lap. Dave Burns, how about it?
Alan, 2 weeks ago at Chicagoland, Dale Earnhardt Jr. tried a setup that he called radical. Here last year, he finished second, so I asked his crew chief, Tony Uri, if they went radical or if they went to last year's notes. Radical made the car bottom out in turn 1. They only applied a little bit of that wild setup for Junior's ride today. To Marty Snyder.
Well, Dave, it's been a very good weekend so far for Matt Kenseth. 5 laps and happy hour yesterday, 22 all day on Saturday. I asked Robbie Reiser, any changes this morning? He said, you know, no. And that's the first time they've done that all year long. That should tell you how good the 17 car should be today. Matt Yoakum.
Marty, back in June, point leader Sterling Marlin entered Pocono with a 136-point lead. Now, after 6 weeks, it's a mere 55. He knows that this midsummer stretch is where Dale Jarrett and Ricky Rudd lost the championship 1 year ago. He has to go out on the offensive, especially when you consider his record at the next 5 racetracks. He has a combined 1 victory. Bill?
Thank you, Matt. Qualifying here on Friday provided an emotional lift for a couple of teams. First, there was John Andretti. A week ago at New Hampshire, he was fast in practice but did not